Hello and welcome to my living room. Changing it up a bit, there's no interview this week, so I want to make sure that you guys don't get bored. So, not only am I switching up the scenery a bit, I'm ditching the script. So it's just me, you, and my notebook talking about impeaching Trump. Because I know, I agree, I would also love to see him not be president anymore, but it's really not that simple. Because the system, as the systems are wont to do, has a backup plan. It has 18 backup plans, as a matter of fact. So here are 18 reasons why you don't want to impeach Trump. Number 1, Mike Pence has said that the Bible is his favorite book. I'm only assuming that's because he's never actually read a different book. You know, the Bible, the book that's filled with rape and incest and death and destruction and hate. Yeah, that book. He's anti-gay, anti-woman, I guess he would be if he loves the Bible. Anti-immigration, loves the Koch brothers, and boy do they love him. Doesn't believe in climate change, although I guess I shouldn't even have to say that because Republicans don't. Famously said that, I think the science is very mixed on the subject of global warming. 97% dumb shit, 3% religious nutbag, mix and serve over ice. 2, Paul Ryan. He's just one of my favorites. He believes that embryos should have personhood, but not women, as was evidenced by his support of the Let Women Die Act, which is exactly what it sounds like. The idea that a woman should be allowed to die if she needs an emergency abortion in order to save her life, because fucking embryos. Believes himself to be a good Catholic and supports the war machine, wants more military spending, of course, but also wants to gut Medicaid, also wants to defund Pell Grants and welfare programs. He believes that marriage is the answer to solving poverty. Also believes that black people don't like to work. 3, Senate President pro tempore Orrin Hatch. If you haven't heard of him, he's just one of those old crusty white guys that is literally grown into his chair and hasn't moved in the past 40 years. His brain also hasn't moved, possibly longer than 40 years. Another anti-woman penis wrinkle. Doesn't believe in contraception, no funding for abortions, anti-gay, anti-civil rights, but did vote for a constitutional ban on flag desecration. America. Pro-cop, pro-corporations, was very pro-TPP. Pro-oil, pro-charter school, leave those kids behind. Anti-Muslim, pro-gun, anti-immigration, fuck poor people, and move the Israeli embassy to Jerusalem. Number 4, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, former CEO of Exxon. I don't really have much more to say about that. Number 5, Secretary of Treasury Stephen Mnuchin, the foreclosure king. A Goldman Sachs vet who made big bucks from making people homeless. Kind of failed, I guess, forgot to disclose that he's got more than $100 million in offshore tax havens. He's also a racist. 68% of his company, One West's foreclosures in California were in non-white areas. Sweet. Number 6, Secretary of Defense Mad Dog Mattis. Pro-war would be a gross understatement. He's accused of committing war crimes in Iraq because I guess, as he said, it's fun to shoot people. Number 7, Attorney General Jeff Sessions was rejected for role of federal judge in 1968 because he was too racist. Too racist in 1968. Thinks the KKK is okay until he found out that they smoke pot. Fuck. You can't be an effective white supremacist if you're high all the time. He once said that white civil rights lawyer was a disgrace to his race, but he also claims that he's not a racist, so I think we're cool. Secretary of Interior, don't know who that is, but I'm sure whoever it is going to be will just be stellar. Number 9, Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue, former governor of Georgia who hates trees, backed by Big Timber, killed the Green Space program designed for conservation of trees. Again, doesn't believe in climate change, but I said I wasn't going to have to say that. But as the Secretary of Agriculture, you'd kind of think that you'd care about what makes stuff grow. The climate. 10, Secretary of Commerce. Also don't know who that's going to be, but again, sure they're going to be stellar. Number 11, Secretary of Labor. Possibly Alexander Acosta was going to be Puzder, but that poor little misogynist didn't like how people were attacking him. He just wants to get back to stealing wages and grabbing women's asses. So Acosta seems like a good guy in comparison, was against the Muslim ban, cool, Yet, he cut a plea deal with Jeffrey Epstein, everyone's favorite pedophile for the rich and famous. That includes Trump and Clinton. Was in the Civil Rights Division under W, and decided to scale back prosecutions for police abuse and voting rights violations, because fuck black people and fuck poor people. Number 12, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Tom Price. Wasn't a fan of the ACA, but hey, neither am I. But unlike me, between 2015 and 2016 alone, he received $700,000 plus from big pharma and insurance companies. Anti-woman, the co-sponsor of bills to ban contraception and abortion, no free birth control, and fuck Planned Parenthood. Health and Human Services, unless you're a woman or unless you're poor. Actually, just health and services for humans that are rich, white men. Number 13, Ben Carson. Still pending, but admittedly doesn't know shit about housing. He did grow up in the inner city with a mom on government welfare, but now thinks that everybody should just get out of it. You know, bootstraps or whatever. He, in his Senate hearing, said, "It is not my intention to do anything to benefit any American." Fair enough, at least you're honest. Secretary of Transportation, Elaine Chao. She's married to the evil turtle, Mitch McConnell. Just got $5 million from Wells Fargo, a cash payout for deferred stock compensation. She was on the board of Wells Fargo from 2011 through 2015. She was the labor secretary under GW, where she cut enforcement budgets and OSHA protections, battled unions, and took the side of big business in low-wage and overtime disputes. I'm sure she'll make a stellar Secretary of Transportation and 14th in line for the presidency. 15, Secretary of Energy Rick Perry actually campaigned to abolish the department, because fuck it. Under his governorship in Texas, oil projects rose by 260%, natural gas projects rose by 50%, as did coal-fired power plants. He was on the board for Energy Transfer Partners, which is the company that's behind Apple. He accepted $6 million from them. That's a sweet gift. He's famous for handouts to backers, for example, Energy Transfer Partners. He also, as a handout, backed nuclear waste disposal in Texas. Awesome. Number 16, Secretary of Education, DeVos. You've probably heard of her. She's the sister of Eric Prince, the founder of Blackwater. Their family gatherings must be fascinating. She's never taught or been to a public school, believes in more charter schools, more private schools, and more virtual schools. She was unable to tell people what that actually meant, but chances are it might have something to do with child labor, because she sat on the board of an organization that thought that child labor was a good idea. 17, Secretary of Veteran Affairs, David Shulkin. Doesn't have any military history, helped privatize several healthcare, or helped lead several private healthcare systems, and also promises not to privatize the VA or anything like that, but, I trust him. 18, Secretary of Homeland Security, John Kelly, the guy who did or did not somehow is connected to that memo that suggested the National Guard deport people. It believes in a streamlined Muslim ban as well, for General John Kelly. So there you have it. Those are the 18 that are in line for the presidency. So you impeach one, and then you just go down the list and figure out where you actually find somebody that you think is a good idea. In other words, there isn't anybody on this list that would be good for the country. There's not one piece of shit on here that will make us a better country, a safer country, a more sustainable country. And that's why you can't get behind this impeach Trump thing. Because we need to be focusing our energy not on Trump, not getting rid of Trump, but getting rid of the system that created Trump. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. The whole damn system is low-life scum.
You low-life scum.
As succinct and scathing Mr. Fish put it last week in a Truth Dig cartoon, just to be clear, removing Donald Trump from the Oval Office will not diminish the existence of creeping totalitarianism from American politics, any more than removing the letter N from the alphabet will diminish racism. It will merely re-camouflage it. And it's time that we wrap that shit in bright colors and call it what it is. Neither Trump nor the deep state opposing him are on your side. Deep state being the pieces of our government that are actually a well-oiled machine, that run mostly hidden from public view, certainly without public overview or oversight, and essentially hold fast to the capitalist, corporatocratic destruction of people and planet for profit. Wrapping their intentions in the American flag and a red or blue pill to be swallowed by you and me every few years, thinking that we're really getting something different. That's a quick rundown of deep state, and even now, as this deep state pokes its head out of the oil-slicked caves of dark money to go after Trump, we cannot shroud their intentions in a populist blanket and fall in line, because we'd be falling in line behind the very people who created Trump via their neoliberal policies and horrendous sociopathy, bolstered by greed, injustice, and war. We cannot hope for salvation from the same system that created our oppression. Impeaching Trump isn't the answer. We have to impeach the whole fucking system. As a recent Zapatista document calling for grassroots resistance noted, from up there, solutions won't come, because from there come the problems. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Whether it's the hope that sanctuary cities will live up to their name, or that Trump's Klan won't reign for long, we are the only ones that we can appeal to.